So the next subject I want to talk to you about is financial forecasting and creating scenarios. Here's the deal. From my perspective, the panic comes from economic uncertainty, right? Think about this. If I told you, and you felt 100% confident about this, that, look, you can just go home, lock yourself in, or go to the park, do things that don't expose you to other people, and you have no economic problems. That has been taken care of, right? I don't know how, just follow along, right? Economically, you have no problem. It's kind of like putting pause on everything. No bills to pay, but yet you've got revenue coming in. How would you feel? And chances are you'd feel pretty good, pretty comfortable. You wouldn't be freaking out. And the idea is that your team members kind of have the same idea. And people out there in the market are kind of feeling the same way. So if you go back to kind of how this virus evolved and what was happening, a lot of the first ideas were, it's not about the virus and it's not how bad the virus is, which now we're learning that it is a little worse than we thought. But it was all about, it's going to lead us into a recession, it's going to lead us into a recession, it's going to lead us into a recession. So to me, this whole situation is about the dollar. It's about the economics. It's about being able to provide for our families. So we've got to take control of that. And what do I mean? So we need to create scenarios of different things that could possibly happen in your business and also in your home. So if you don't own a business, or you're watching this video and you're part of a team, well, you've got to do this for your own family budget. So what I want you to do is understand your financials. So what I do with my clients is we have a 1 to 3 year financial forecast based on what we think we're gonna be doing, what we've been working on, and how we believe that that's going to be affecting us and what the outcomes of that are going to be. So if you already have a financial forecast, then it's relatively simple. You just go and take a look and create a couple different scenarios. So for example, I just call it a good, better, best scenario, or worst, bad, and okay scenario, right? And in this situation, we can say, hey, well, what are the chances that things just go really bad, and what would that look like? So I'll give you an example. What would 90% loss of revenue look like for your business for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month? And what are some of the actions that you would have to take because of that? What are the decisions that need to be made? Then you want to take a look at a kind of best case scenario. Well, this thing only lasts a few weeks. We only lose 10, 20% of our revenue, maybe less. And based on that, well, these would be the measures that we have to take to be able to keep the company afloat and to keep things going. And then you want to think about a most likely scenario, right? Something that is not probably as extreme, and it's probably not as positive either, right? So using your best thinking, using your knowledge, using, if you've gone through crisis before, if you've been through recessions before, if you can model markets, if you can model other parts of the world, parts of the country, and understand what the impact is, then you can create a scenario where you're really trying to understand what is happening in terms of your client acquisition, your sales cycle, your revenue streams, your cost structure, and understand and create a plan for what actions need to be taken. And very importantly, when. When do these actions need to be taken? So knowing that you might have to cut somebody's hours is one thing, but knowing when needs to be triggered is critical. Right? We don't want to rush out and just shut everything down. We want to understand what are the stages and what are the triggers. Now, once we hit those triggers, we got to move fast, but we don't want to overreact. By the way, really important point, your marketing is the last thing that goes. And we're going to talk in another video about what to do with your marketing, because it has to change, it has to evolve, but stopping your marketing efforts are a recipe for disaster, proven time and time again. That gets cut last. So if you currently have a forecast, again, go back, take a look at it, sit down with your team, analyze the implications of supply chain, of customer behavior, of markets, and try to create a scenario of what the likelihood of different things happening are. If you are not that great with numbers, don't necessarily have a forecast, let's work with what we have. So we are going to have to take a look at maybe some P&Ls, get with your bookkeeper, get with your CPA. And on the other hand, if you email me at support@questadvising.com, support questadvising.com. I will send you the template that I use with my clients. It also contains a few instructions so you can quickly start creating a forecast. And right now we don't have to take a look at 3 years or even 2 years. We probably need to take a forecast for the next 3 months to 6 months and get very clear on that. So email me. I'm going to be making all my resources available to anyone that needs them. So if you need some help, reach out, send me an email, send an email to support, and I'll get these templates out to you.